Welcome back to another episode of Two Wheel Trends, the place where the road meets deep detail and every ride finds its voice. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most anticipated machines of the year, a motorcycle that has kept the retro-loving community awake with excitement and drawn even the modern crowd with its gritty, confident attitude. This is the 2025 Jawa 42 Bobber, a machine that defines boldness with each line and delivers a riding experience that goes far beyond the sum of its vintage aesthetics. It's not just a bike, it's a character, a story, and a statement on two wheels. Stick with us, because by the time we're done, you'll know every curve, every sound, and every nuance this motorcycle has to offer. The 2025 iteration of the Jawa 42 Bobber takes everything that riders loved about the previous models and sharpens it with more attitude, more refinement, and a surprisingly intuitive road presence. From the first glance, the bike commands attention without shouting. It doesn't need to be flashy, because its sculpted stance, floating seat, and minimalist design speak volumes on their own. The 42 Bobber continues to embrace that classic single-seater layout, but Jawa has made subtle yet significant tweaks that elevate this year's model to another level. Moving to the front, it's immediately clear that Jawa hasn't strayed from its commitment to the retro-modern fusion. The round headlamp remains, now upgraded with a full LED setup that gives it a crisp throw without losing the old-school appeal. Encased in a matte black bezel, it delivers a nice contrast to the chrome and metal finishes across the front fork assembly. The telescopic front forks are robust, offering a visual solidity that matches their function. They're encased in chunky gaiters that reinforce the rugged, street-tough aesthetic of the bike. Sitting above that is the clean, wide handlebar, now slightly flatter and lower than before, giving the rider a more commanding, aggressive riding posture. Every detail, from the bar and mirrors to the finely knurled grips, has been selected to reinforce the minimalist Bobber DNA without sacrificing utility. The front fender is chopped and tightly hugs the tire, staying faithful to the stripped-down style that makes bobbers such an iconic genre. The front wheel itself sports a 190/18 setup with blacked-out spoke wheels wrapped in beefy tubeless rubber. Braking performance is confidently managed by a 280mm disc up front with a dual-channel ABS system that's tuned for progressive, controlled feedback rather than aggressive bite. It's clear that Jawa has focused on giving riders the kind of confidence that makes cruising through traffic or winding country roads equally rewarding. From the side profile, the 2025 Jawa 42 Bobber is an absolute treat for anyone who appreciates symmetrical flow and muscular stance. The bike looks like it's in motion even when it's parked, thanks to that floating single seat, upswept exhaust, and the low-slung frame geometry. Jawa has maintained the hardtail look with a cleverly hidden monoshock setup that's both functional and faithful to the old-school aesthetic. That illusion of a rigid rear end combined with modern damping is a classic Jawa move, honoring the past while embracing the now. The fuel tank is a standout feature, both in form and function. The teardrop shape remains, but the tank now sports bolder graphics and deeper color tones with a satin finish that resists fingerprints and minor scratches. Jawa has also included a brushed metal Jawa badge this year instead of stickers, giving the tank a more premium and tactile presence. The tank capacity remains at 12.5 liters, balancing style and practicality for urban and weekend rides alike. The midsection is clean, stripped of unnecessary panels, and showcases the engine in all its mechanical glory. The side panels are now metal instead of plastic, and they wear the 42 Bobber branding with pride, featuring laser-etched accents and a small Indian flags that hints at the bike's legacy. Even the wiring has been tucked more neatly this year, making for a clutter-free, almost bespoke appearance. The foot pegs are mid-set, allowing for a relaxed yet engaged riding posture. Riders around 5'6" to 6'2" will find the ergonomics comfortably neutral with the hint of forward lean that makes highway cruising more dynamic. The gear lever and brake pedal are well machined, offering positive feedback with minimal play. This is where the Jawa 42 Bobber starts to show its finesse. Not just built to look cool, but designed to perform comfortably over long distances without compromising its visual DNA. At the rear, the floating seat remains one of the bike's biggest talking points. It now features better cushioning and an updated spring mounting system that improves comfort on rougher patches. The leather finish is premium, with double stitching and a more contoured design that keeps you planted even on quicker acceleration. Right behind the seat, the rear fender is chopped short and hugs the fat 140/70/17 rear tire with style. The taillight is integrated just below the seat, glowing red with a subtle LED strip that blends with the frame architecture when not in use. It's discreet, modern, and completely in character with the rest of the bike. The turn indicators are mounted lower and feature a smoked finish, adding to the bike's blackout theme. One major upgrade for 2025 is the new chain guard and rear disc cover, both made of brushed aluminum that contrasts tastefully against the otherwise dark palette. The exhaust continues with the upswept blacked-out twin pipes that emit a throaty, deep growl every time you twist the throttle. One of the most satisfying stock exhaust notes in the sub-500cc segment. The sound isn't overly aggressive, but it delivers a consistent punch that reinforces the bike's old-school bad boy appeal. Now let's talk about what powers this machine. Under the hood, or rather under the tank, lies a 334cc single-cylinder, liquid-cooled, stock engine. This is a tried and tested motor that's been refined even further for 2025 with revised fuel mapping and better cooling efficiency. It produces 29.9 PS of peak power and 32.7 Nm of torque, and while those numbers might not sound mind-blowing on paper, the real story is in how the bike delivers that torque. The power band is smooth, wide, and linear, with ample low and grunt and a meaty mid-range that's perfect for city pulling and highway overtaking alike. The 6-speed gearbox is slick, with a light clutch pull and precise shifts. Jawa has made improvements to the gear ratios this year to reduce the gap between second and third, making urban riding more fluid. The engine's refinement has gone up a notch too, with noticeably fewer vibrations at cruising speeds. Even at 90 to 100 km/h, the 42 bobber feels stable and relaxed, with the engine thumping away confidently underneath. Where this bike truly shines is in its riding dynamics. The low seat height of 740 mm makes it accessible to a wide range of riders, and the 185 kg curb weight is balanced well thanks to the low-slung chassis. Cornering is surprisingly responsive for a bobber, with the bike holding its line cleanly and predictably. The new rear monoshock setup offers better rebound control this year, improving both comfort and agility. Whether you're gliding through tight bands or cruising along highways, the bike feels planted, secure, and in tune with your inputs. City riding is a breeze, thanks to the wide handlebar and tight turning radius. The engine doesn't heat up too much in traffic, and the cooling fan kicks in efficiently when needed. Out on the highway, the bike cruises comfortably between 85 to 100 km/h, with the top speed nudging close to 130 km/h. But the 42 bobber isn't about speed, it's about how cool you look getting there. And trust us, you'll turn heads at every red light and roadside cafe. As far as fuel efficiency goes, you can expect around 30 to 34 km/L under mixed riding conditions, which is decent for a motorcycle in this category. And with this kind of torque delivery, service intervals remain at 6,000 km, and Jawa has expanded its dealership and service network, making ownership more convenient this year. Coming to pricing, the 2025 Jawa 42 bobber starts at around a superscript 12.29 lakh ex showroom, with slight variations depending on color options and accessories. Jawa offers several customization kits including different seat options, handlebar configurations, and even exhaust tips that let riders tweak the aesthetic and feel of their machine to suit their personality. When you look at what this bike offers: premium finishes, authentic design, strong road presence, and capable performance, that price point makes a lot of sense, especially for enthusiasts looking for a head-turning yet usable daily motorcycle with genuine character. In closing, the 2025 Jawa 42 bobber is not just a motorcycle, it's a vibe. It's for the rider who doesn't want to disappear into the sea of commuters, who rides not just for utility, but for expression. It blends vintage soul with modern usability better than most bikes in its class. Every element, from its visually aggressive stance to its refined engine performance, speaks to a thoughtful evolution of the Bobber concept. If you're looking for a motorcycle that makes you feel something every time you start it, that stands out without shouting, and that rides like a dream with just the right amount of muscly, this might be the one for you. That's it for this step dive review of the 2025 Jawa 42 Bobber. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, drop a comment telling us your favorite feature of the bike, and subscribe to Two Wheel Trends for more in-depth motorcycle reviews just like this one. Until next time, ride safe, ride smart, and keep chasing the horizon.